3. Did I say 3? I did. I said 3. The number of the day is 3. So no matter what, don't forget 3. Good, I think you got it. All right, so let's start with a warm-up here. I'll sing something in my octave. You sing it back in your octave. Ready, here I go. Do, do, do. Do, mi, do. Do, mi, so. So, 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 mi. So, so, do. Do, 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 so. So, so, mi. So, mi, do. Good. Now we'll do a few more. I'm not going to use the hand signs because my hands don't go that fast. All right, here we are. Do, mi, so, mi, do. Do, mi, so, do. Oops. Do, mi, sorry. Do, so, mi, so, do. Do, mi, so. So, mi, do. Good. I kind of messed up a little bit, but that's all right. So, did I say 3 was the number of the day? I did. So in all those examples that I just sang, I only used 3 notes, right? We either sang do, or there was a mi, or a so. I know you've heard all those before. Now sometimes we went up to high do, and I might have gone down to low so, but there were only 3 different notes. So let's talk about 3. Actually, let's talk about do, because as I think I've said before, do is the most important note in the scale, right? Because almost every melody ends on do. A lot of them begin on do too. Let me take a few that you've probably heard before. Right? Fa, fa, mi, mi, re, re, do. Twinkle, twinkle ends on do. How about if we were celebrating someone's birthday? Yes, you know this one? That's a do, right? Fa, fa, mi, do, re, do. If you don't end on do, happy birthday is going to sound a little bit funny, right? Let's try one more. Oh, how about, you've all heard this one. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So, fa, mi, re, do. So almost every song ends on do. I'm sure there's a few exceptions. I'll look for one. I can't think of one off the top of my head. But do is such an important note. So, all right. So let's talk about the 3 notes that are important. Do, mi, and so. Right? Now 3 is an important number. There's a lot of things that have to do with 3 that are super strong. The most strong, of course, is the Holy Trinity, right? Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Nothing is stronger than that group of 3, right? Let's talk about some 3s here on Earth. So you've seen a photographer either taking a video or a camera. If they're not holding it, they have to put their camera on something to keep it stable, right? Usually they use a tripod, right? 3 legs. Because think about it, if you had 1 leg, well, the camera would kind of wobble and fall down, right? Well, let's try 2. 2 is good, except, well, it would topple over front or back, right? It wouldn't go to the side, but it would topple over eventually if you walked away from it. 3 legs, you could put that camera on, walk away, come back next week, it's still there, right? And in fact, I've got Exhibit A, all our music stands here at Bethany, 3 legs, right? So you can think of that. You put it down on the ground, stable. It's like do, mi, so. Doesn't move anywhere. So, all right. So there's a musical term. It's not called the Holy Trinity, but there's a musical term called the triad, which means 3 notes. Triad. Okay, so we have 3 is the number of the day, right? Our word is triad, T-R-I-A-D, which means a group of three, right? So you all should know what this means, whether it's triceratops or triathlon, triangle, Holy Trinity, or the word triad. You know it means three of something. So we have our do, if this is do, do, mi, so, three different notes, right? They're all from the scale. Now you know the whole scale is this. It's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Right, so we have do, re isn't in the main triad. Mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So not every note in the scale is in this main triad. Some people use numbers too for the scale. You could sing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is the same as 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the important notes in this triad are 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, do, mi, so, mi, do. So those are the notes of the triad. The triad is one of the most important building blocks for music, right? You've all played with Legos before. Well, in music, we have a sort of Legos, we have building blocks, and the triad is one of them, the three notes. And it's such an important concept that the hand signs even show how strong each note is. So we've got do, a super strong note, a fist, right? That's like the big foundation, do. Mi, if you think of a tabletop or a desk, a super strong flat surface, right? And then so, it's like a wall or maybe somebody's back up straight, right? That's another straight shape. So, mi, do. So the three shapes for our hand signs show how strong that triad is. All right, now any note could be do, right? Let me just pick one at random off the piano. Let's see. That would be, if that's our do, it would be do, re, mi, fa, so. Do, mi, so, mi, do. So that's how we know that's what our key is in, and do is the main note. Let's try another one. How about let's see. Do, re, mi, fa, so. Do. So this is our do now. Do, mi, so, so, mi, do. That way we know that's the main note. Do. Good. Let's try another one. How about, what if I make this our do? Do, do, mi, so, mi, do. I'm going to play a couple of examples of tunes that only use notes from that triad. You've probably heard that before, right? You want to say, charge! Yeah, if you've ever been to a sporting event, they play that, the crowd gets fired up and wants to cheer for their team. So it uses, it's so, do, mi, so, mi, so. So again, that's just from the triad. Here's another one that goes even faster that I can't do the hand signs for. If you've ever heard the wake-up call, it goes like this. Now that's something that might play in the military, usually on a trumpet or bugle. I wish I played that. I only know how to play piano, so maybe some year I'll learn the trumpet. But that's just three notes. Let me slow it down a little for you. It's so, do, mi, do, so, mi, do, mi, do, so, mi, do, mi, do, so, mi, do, and so on. So, do, it only uses those three notes of the triad. Here's one more that goes a little slower. I think I can actually get this one right. Okay. Again, that's usually on trumpet too. Taps, which is played at the end of the day, or sometimes it's played at a military funeral. If somebody ever served in the military, it's beautiful to hear that played. So let me just show you how that's only the notes from the triad. It's so, so, do, mi, so, do, mi, so, do, mi, so, do, mi, do, mi, so, mi, do, so, so, do. So If I got it right, I might have messed up the hand signs. But it's only those 3 notes in the triad for taps. So that's how important the triad is. We'll talk more about the triad later on in this month, but I just wanted to put that in your ear. Now we're going to take a little bit of a break and play a fun game called Beat or No Beat. I'm going to play some examples of music, and you have to tell me if there's a beat or no beat. Now, let's just talk about, to make sure I've gone over what a beat is, because I don't know that I've specifically said what the beat is. And I wouldn't want you to leave Bethany not knowing that music has a beat. So, well, let's think about your heart. You all have a heart, right? I hope your heart is beating. Yeah, most of the time your heart beats at a pretty steady pulse, right? Now, sometimes if you're running around outside and playing, your pulse speeds up. It's faster, right? But it's like, bump, 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 but it's still pretty steady, right? And then when you're asleep, your heart slows down, but it's still pretty steady most of the time, right? So I like to think of the beat in music. I think the beat is the pulse of the music. Well, that's pretty easy, right? The beat is the pulse of the music. I'll say it again. The beat is the pulse of the music. Good. So if you hear music and you feel like you could move to it or clap to it, then it definitely has a beat, right? Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow. But if you feel a steady heartbeat kind of pulse, then it has a beat. What about music that doesn't have a beat? Is that possible? Well, it's not that often. Most music has a beat. That's the secret. But I'm going to make up something that doesn't have a beat, just to show you what I mean. All right. So here would be something without a heartbeat. Let's see. What was that? Well, I don't know because I made it up, but could you clap your hands to it or move in time? Not really. So music without a beat, I like to think of it as kind of like floaty cloud music, right? You've seen clouds moving maybe up and down the mountains. Sometimes clouds are moving a little faster or slower, but there's not really a beat to them. Now here's the good thing. Music without a beat is still alive, right? But humans without a beat, not so good. All right. So most of the time music has a beat. Sometimes it has no beat. So I'm going to play a few examples. See if you can figure out right off the bat if there's a beat or no beat, and I'll tell you afterwards. All right. Let's start out with example number 1. Aha. Well, I felt like I could kind of march or dance to that, right? Bump, 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 bump. So that's the pulse of the music, right? It's kind of fast, but that's definitely music with a beat. Let's try another one. Let's see. Ooh, that reminds me of a lively Irish jig, something we might hear on St. Patrick's Day, right? So that's an example of definitely a beat. Bump, 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 right? Let me try something else. Well, could you dance to that? Well, you could dance to any kind of music, but did it have a steady pulse? I don't think so, because I wasn't keeping one. I was actually just making up stuff on the black keys. No beat, I was just kind of going crazy. So that's an example of music without a beat. All right, let's try, how about another example? Ooh, I think I gave that one away with my body. I was actually moving to the beat, right? So that was kind of like a a rock, kind of funky rock thing. I'm not sure what you'd call it. It's something I made up, but anyway, that definitely had a steady beat or pulse. How about let's try another one here. Well, could you figure out where that was going? Me neither. I wasn't sure because I was making it up, but that definitely was music with no beat because there was no steady pulse. All right, let's try maybe one more example. Let's see here. Aha. So anything that was a jazzy kind of thing definitely had a beat, right? Right, so almost all jazz and rock and pop, actually most things you would hear on the radio have a steady beat. So it's rare that you would find something without a beat, but you can listen for it. It happens every now and then. All right, so that's our game, beat or no beat. It'll come back later this year. So you know that knowing where the beat is really important in understanding music, right? I'd like to talk now about how beat is organized to make music. Because right now, all we have is the beat, right? It sounds like this. Bum, 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 or ta, 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 ta. I think you get the picture, right? If we slowed it down, it would be ta, 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 bum, bum. Or if we sped it up, bum, 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 ta, ta, super fast, ta, 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 ta. I think I missed one. But you get the point. If you have nothing but beat, it's kind of like banging your head into the wall, right? It gets old pretty quickly. You get bored and you get a headache. So we don't want this. We want to organize the beat into a way that makes a little bit more sense and is more interesting. So we're going to end up with strong beats and then some weaker beats. So we need to add some accents. Now I'm going to put an accent on the first beat, and I'm going to put it every other beat. So in music, the accent, it looks kind of like a greater than sign in math, but you'll see what I mean. Kind of like this, right? Bum, 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 bum. All right, I'll show you the rest of the line now. Okay, now we have the whole line, accents every other beat. It sounds like this. Ta, 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 or bum, 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 bum. Already it sounds more like a piece of music, right? I'm going to do one more step. I'm going to put bar lines in. So each time we get beat 1, we know that's the first beat. So it looks like this. All right, I did it kind of quickly. They're not all straight, but you get the point. So if I were going to count, I'd go 1. Beat 2 is always a little weaker, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. And I could play a piece of music, you could march to it, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Anyway, the Stars and Stripes, most marches are in 2 like that, so because you have 2 legs. All right, so so this is an example. This is called meter. How you organize beats into what sounds more like music. So this is meter in 2. There's the word I was just talking about, meter, right? M-E-T-E-R. It kind of means how the music is measured, right? Because each of these is called a measure, and this is measured in beats of 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, with 1 being the strong beat, right? What if we had an accent every third beat? Aha, it would look like this. All right, every third beat sounds like this. Bum, 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 or ta, 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 ta. Notice I'm putting accents where there's accents. And if I drew the bar lines in, we'd have this. All right, so now we have to count to 3, And 1 is still the strong downbeat, so it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I wonder if there's any pieces of music that go like that. Well, there's thousands, but here's a really famous one. How sweet the sound that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So Amazing Grace is in 3. All right, what if we accent every 4 beats? Well, that would look like this. Okay, now we're counting to 4, and remember 1 is still the strong downbeat, so it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what goes like that. Yes, Ode to Joy. Bum, bum. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, one of the most famous tunes of all is in 4. And there's thousands, millions of things in 4. I could go on and on forever about it. Now, I want to talk about, remember the number of the day, 3. So I want to concentrate on this meter in 3. Okay, so we're back to the number of the day, 3. All you have to do is count to 3. Pretty easy, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and so on. Right, so besides Amazing Grace, let me play some other super famous examples of things in 3. I actually already played one of them earlier today. Happy birthday, dear whoever we're celebrating. Happy birthday to you. Now, it's a little bit of a trick, because the whole thing, happy birthday, is in 3, except for when we say whoever's name it is we're celebrating, then we have a big fermata in the middle, right? So that would be one of these things. Happy birthday, dear whoever. But the rest of it's in 3. Good. All right, so now let's try another super famous example. You've heard this before. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes, so the national anthem is written in 3. All right. This week, in keeping with 3 being the number of the day, I would like you all to come up with writing your own rhythms in 3. Now, because 3 beats isn't much to work with, let's do 2 measures of 3. So we'd have 3 beats plus 3 beats, which you put them together makes 6 beats. So that should be pretty easy. I've talked about how you can use ta for a beat, tt, 2 eighth notes for a beat, a quarter rest for a beat, ta, which is 2 beats. I don't think that this year I've talked about the dotted half note, which is worth 3 beats, which is certainly something you could use for this rhythm. So let's talk about all the options you've got. This should all look pretty familiar from before. If you have only 1 beat to cover, here's the ways you can do it. You can do ta, right? Or you can do tt, right? 2 sounds but 1 beat. Or you could do nothing, right? Nothing for 1 beat. If you have 2 beats to cover, you can use the half note, right? Ta, right? Or you could use any number of things from this column. You could do ta plus tt, right, for 2 beats, or you could do rest, ta. Any 2 of these would also cover 2 beats. Now, what if you want 3 beats? Here's the dotted half note. All right. 3 beats. To make the dotted half note, you make a regular half note, and then you put a dot after it. So the rule of the dot after a note is that it always stretches it just a little bit, right? So this note, instead of being 2 beats now, is now 3 if you add the dot, right? It's like pulling it. It's like, so this is ta, right? 3 beats. Ta. So you could use that for one of your measures if you want. All right, I'm going to make up a few rhythms using all these in 3 just to show you what it's like. All right, here's what I'm thinking inside my head as I count my rhythm. I'm going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? Now you could also count to 6 if you'd rather do that. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It sounds almost the same because it's still exactly 6 beats. All right, let me try. I'll show you a bunch of different ways to do this. Let's see. I'm going to start with the new thing we just talked about, the dotted half note. All right, so I've got one of those. Remember, stem up on the right, out of sight, put a dot, and look what I got. I'm already halfway done, right? Ta! I just have 3 more beats to fill. I'm going to take the easy way out. Done, right? 3 plus 3, 6 beats, done. Good. Now that's kind of easy, but technically I did the assignment. I'm going to change it up a little bit, because if I want to do this rhythm over and over the course of a piece, I might want to change it up just a little bit. So let me try another one. How about, I'll start with one of these again. Ta, and then let's try, How about that? So this one's a little fancier, right? It starts like this. Ta, ta, rest, ti, ti. Then I do it again, right? Ta, ta, rest, ti, ti, ta, ta. If I put these two together, that might be even more interesting, right? It would be like ta, 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 rest, ti, ti. So when you combine rhythms, it does get more interesting. Let me try a few more. Let's see. What if I want to do a half note? All right. Let's see. Oh, I know. I'll do a half note. Ta, ta. Ooh. Let me try this one. Ooh. That's going to be kind of interesting because I've got a ta, then a ta, then a ta, ta. Is that still 6 beats? Let's see. 2 plus 1 is 3. And 1 plus 2 is 3. Adds to 6. Yep, I did it, no problem. So it would sound like ta, 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 ta. So that's another possibility. Oh, what if I want to put a few rests in there? Let me try. I know, I'll do one that's got a lot of rests. Let's see. Rest, ta, ti, ti. Let me see, that's 1, 2, 3. I need 3 more beats, right? I could do a dotted half note again, but I think I'm going to add some more rests. Let me see. Rest, ti, ti. Oh. So that's kind of an interesting one, right? Let's make sure it's 6 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is. Good. All right. So that would sound like this. Here I go. Rest, ta, ti, ti, rest, ti, ti, rest, rest, ta, ti, ti, rest, ti, ti. That's kind of interesting because it's got some rests on the strong beats, right? Now, if I wanted to write bar lines in, that would be perfectly okay too. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So every 3 beats, I have a bar line, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This would be a bar line here, and then a bar line would be here for these. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then here. Anyway, so that's it. All you have to do is come up with some things that add up to 6 beats altogether, or 3 plus 3. Should be pretty easy. All right, remember, number of the day. I will see you next time. Bye.